In this webinar of designing, right, whether it's a product or a project designing, we are assuming that people already know software, okay, at least testing or development, something they know about software. And we are not going to teach about individual programming languages or databases. There's a special program exclusively on database designing alone that will be taken in the last week of February, but this will cover a brief part of it, but this talks about designing for the whole project. Okay, before getting into the product design, first of all we need to know what is the project or a product that we are going to design. By end of February, we plan to launch job portal in OpenMentor. Okay, we plan to launch this mostly by end of February. We will have a beta version ready by maybe in another 1.5 weeks. This job portal is like any other job portal, but first we need to understand what is the basic requirement of the product, then we can go ahead and then do the designing. So first 10 minutes we will spend on understanding the requirements. This is extremely important, because if you don't understand, there is nothing like a design without knowing what is the specs. So we are going to design for a requirement or for a set of requirements. So we need to have full grip of requirements. Now I'm going to explain what is the specification for the job portal, OpenMentor job portal. The purpose of this is connect millions of job seekers. Okay, connect millions of job seekers and thousands of employers, but most importantly for free. Because if you take current job sites like say some of the public, Naukri or Times or Dice, for the job seeker it is free, for the employer or the recruiter it is not free. OpenMentor wants to break that also. We want to give a free portal, both for applicants as well as recruiters. Reason, recruiters need to pay a lot of money to these portals. Why should they again pay? So we want to break that rule as well. So that is what is the aim. Who are all the users of this system? Regular job applicants who are freshers or who move from one job to another job. Employers, direct employers, or employers who give the authority for the recruitment firms to get people, and then of course the administrator who is going to use this system. There are 3 types of users for this application. Then technology, we want to have a web-based access. Database will be MySQL, and then we want to build Java JSP structs as technology. This is what is the basic requirement information. Now the next thing that we are going to see is this one. When we talk about, there are 3 types of users: job applicants, recruiters, job seeker. What does that person do? Okay, what can that person do is first register yourself with the portal. So it may have first name, middle name, whatever. Then log into the portal. Of course we need to give the email ID. Then there's a build resume. You might have seen in many job portals, build your resume. You can give personal details, executive summary, employment details, project experience details, hobbies, etc. But you have to build your own resume. You cannot have just one upload. Then update the resume if needed. Okay. After 1 year or after the project is finished, you may want to update the resume. You need to do that. Then as a job seeker, you may want to know, for my qualification, with respect to my location, with respect to my salary expectations, what are the jobs already posted. Then out of many jobs that shows apply for jobs, then if the employer chooses you further, then you may get email alerts on the job. This is what the job seeker does. The next portion will be, what is the activity of the employer? Okay. Again, employer also should register, because we need to know what kind of people are employing, going to access the system, because we cannot give employer access to anybody. It should be a valid company or a valid registered recruiter. Then log into the account, mainly create the job portion. You might have seen in the advertisements. Job position will be like a test manager or a development lead. Then how many years of experience, what are the preferred skills, what are the mandatory skills, right? Then last date for applying. Then once that is shown, the system, once that particular advertisement is created or a job position is created, system will start showing that. Then applicants will apply for that. Then see who are all the applicants who applied for that position. Out of them, choose certain people for interview. This is going to be unique, because in most of the portal, they just take the resume, call them, but they don't track the interview status right there. So they need to have their own HR product. That is called e-recruitment. What we are trying to do is give that e-recruitment module. If an applicant applied for you, then you either selected or rejected that candidate, maintain the interview status right there, so that you can have a better control. Instead of serving as only resume storage, we are trying to give a value-added service right there. Generate variety of reports. How many people applied within this day? How many people applied from Chennai, right? Then sometimes when you try to post a job, you may not get the suitable resumes for that. So you can extend the end date, or you might have already got 4 people in that same cadre. So you may have to cancel that position. So you can do that also. Then finally, as a system administrator, there are certain activities pending. So many times, if an employer is registering, we may have to really check whether he's a real employer or a bogus employer by verifying tax IDs, registration number, right? All those things. Then approve. Then sometimes certain people who purposefully put bad resumes, maybe like abusive resumes or with bad words, purposefully to clog the system. So remove those things. Then of course generate a variety of reports based on job applicant details, right? This is what the whole system. So it contains job positioning creation, then applicants building the resume, applicants applying for that, then tracking the interview. This is the product that we are going to design. This is very similar to every product available in the market, but we are having some unique propositions right there. It will be given in the market probably by mid-February. How to design for this? Is this specification clear to you all people? Can you please raise the hands if so? Any doubts in the specifications? Ask now, because if you are not clear in the specification, you should not go to designing first of all. That's mandatory rule number 1. If you are not clear, okay, in the specification, don't do designing. If you are not clear in specs, do not start design. This is very, very important rule. All of a sudden you may end up in wrong design. If this is clear, if this is not clear, please send those doubts in the chat. We will clarify right now. I am open to your questions if there is any doubt. Very simple system, but very powerful system. All over the world, jobs, right? Opportunities. This is evergreen area because every industry needs people. And collecting these information, instead of depending on one or two portals, we are coming out with a different way. It's a kind of mixture of e-recruitment and job portal, most importantly for free. Again, open mentor, why you can ask why it is for free. We are trying to change the world from our side. You will see. We are trying to help recruiters by bringing down their overheads. Okay. Someone has asked, I am a third-year student in IT. Can I use this job portal? Yes, very well, because many companies even choose people for summer projects. You can always have an experience of how a portal will be. Absolutely no issue. You can use this portal. Absolutely no issue. At least you will come to know once you log in what kind of positions are there. You can update your skills according to the market needs, right? You can see what skills are hot, correct? Pretty much we watch for the fashion, what is the new kind of shirt, what is the new kind of hairstyle going on. At least if you are in the portal, you will be knowing what is the trend of jobs currently going on. Any other doubts? Okay, good. Not getting any more doubts from the people. So let me proceed to the next level. The first step is be clear with the specs. Number two, do a functional architecture. Usually you can have a simple block diagram, okay? This block diagram will help you to understand what kind of modules are going to be present in the system. First, draw what are all the functional modules. When I say functional modules, it is doing a set of functionality. Functionality meaning related activity, okay? A set of modules which will do related activities. So you put them in a block diagram. If you put that block diagram, you will have a better control or better clarity on how the system will look like. So I am going to show you to draw a simple block diagram. For that, you can use Visio or Microsoft Word or any other tools which provide a fundamental flow charting options. Okay. So I am going to now draw a simple set of flow diagram, or as a block diagram. This is the first step. It will give you clarity. So I am dividing this into three modules: admin module, then recruiter module, or say employer module, and then job seeker module. Okay. So I am going to design this whole system, or divide the system into three specific modules. Then we will further break it down. So I am trying to do a top-down approach from the biggest, okay, module. I am going to go to the lowest level module. Okay, just give me a minute. Let the Word open. It takes some time. Okay, now it has come. Okay, I hope the screen is refreshed for you people. Okay. Let me close this window. Now I'm just trying to get this flow charting information also. Okay, now I'm going to draw block diagrams. Okay, I take this. Okay. Okay. Now I created this block, right? This is block 1. Now I simply say there are three modules here. 1, and then 2, and then 3. So I'm simply drawing an architecture. This may look very simple, but yes, it is very much required to tell other people. Okay, pictorially, if you represent anything, it's going to help you a lot. Okay, now I say add the text. I say this is job seeker module. Okay, again you can change the text size and other stuff, that is fine. Now I am saying this is admin module. Now I am going to say this is employer module. Okay, now I'm going to say these are all interconnected. Okay, to say these are all interconnected, now I'm saying connectors are say basic shapes, basic arrows, right? I'm going to say this is one thing, and cut and paste. Now these two are interconnected. If you look at this diagram, very simply it says, okay, there are three simple modules: job seeker module, admin module, employer module. These three are interconnected. The same thing I can write it in text. I can say there are three modules in the system. These three modules are interconnected. Instead of saying all these in text, the moment I draw a block diagram like this, do you feel this is much more understandable? If so, can you please raise the hands? Do you see that this is, yeah, that is the key. The first step is convert the text, try to convert that into a block diagram or a functional architecture, because it helps a lot. Now this is one part. Now I'm going to say this is just an initial thing. Now within job seeker module, what are the blocks? Okay, now I'm going to the next page. Okay, I'm going to the next page. Now I'm going to say within job seeker modules, what are the building blocks? Now I'm going to say, yeah, there is a resume builder. Okay, anyway, I will add the text for each of them. Okay, either you can draw a bigger diagram or a smaller diagram. Of course, it needs a little bit practice in Microsoft Word or Visio diagram to draw these diagrams. Okay, now I say this is another block. Let us add some text to it. Okay, registration. Again, you can increase the text to maybe for whatever. Now I want to add another text: registration versus login service. Then I want to have this as resume builder. Okay, there are three blocks. Again, I want to add other set of blocks, right? Searching for jobs. I simply say job search is a module. Now I want to have within this, I want to have apply job module. Okay, so within the job seeker itself, now we have got X number of modules, right? Now, how are they interconnected? Of course, I'm going to say registration is connected to login. I'm putting an arrow. Fine. Then after that, I want to have login to resume builder is there. I'm going to say login is connected to job search, and I'm going to say login to connect to apply for job module. A registration does not directly take you to applying the job, right? Only after login there is some amount of activity happening. So again, many companies may not even have these, they simply have a connector. But the moment you put a connector, either the arrow in one direction or the other direction, you can have double-sided arrow also. But the thing is, login always precedes the job search. Login always precedes applying for a job, right? So within job seeker module, I have got these blocks, and these blocks are slightly interconnected like this. Now I'm going to have one more block diagram. Anyway, let me save this. that block diagram is for employer. Okay, so you may have to have simple block diagrams. The block diagram will list modules. A module is nothing but something that tries to I would say carry out a set of related activities. That is very important. A set of related activities. Okay, job portal diagrams. I'm just saving that. Now I want to have another set of diagrams for employer also. Okay, employer also, registration, login, then I'm going to say job posting, right? Then let me just put the blocks, then add the text. Okay, now I say register, then I can say this is because login, many times people misunderstand this login, because at the time of login there are so many authentication levels happening. So login service itself is one of the key areas in every application. Job posting, okay, this is another module probably. Then view applicants, then I want to say another block that is going to say track interviews. Now I want to have one more block over here as reports. Okay, I say add write reports. There are a lot of reports that we need. Again, you can, I'm just trying to have connector like this. Login is connected to report, and then login is connected to job posting, login is connected to view applicants, then login is connected to track interviews, right? Even this track view applicants and track interviews, they are directly connected, right? Now I want to say job posting is also related to, again you can have multiple connectors. Job posting also directly have a relationship with tracking the interview, right? So the moment you draw this block diagram, you will have a clarity on which modules are going to be developed. Rather than seeing the PPT, you can see a distinct advantage over having a block diagram. This block diagram is called functional architecture. This is the backbone of almost every big system. Without this kind of a block diagram, or also known as functional architecture, it is very, very difficult to conceptualize and quickly understand a bigger system. Is this clear to you all? So this is called functional architecture. Break the system to bigger modules. From bigger modules, break it further to smaller modules. This is called top-down approach. Any questions on this? Any big system, you can break it. Okay. Suppose you are going to take a big HR system, you can break it to smaller modules. If you take an inventory system, you can break it to smaller modules. If you talk about e-commerce application, you can break it to smaller modules, right? That is the first exercise. So take a bigger problem, break it to smaller modules. That is the first step. Any questions in this? If there are any questions, please raise them now. I am open to the questions now. You can type it and then send it out, or you can raise the hands. At least I will know. If you don't have any doubts, please raise the hands. Okay. One person has asked about when to use bottom-up approach. We will come towards that bottom-up approach at a later point of time. Just to quickly answer that question, if you already have blocks ready, right? If you have got blocks ready, then you can use bottom-up approach, but most of the times the design functional design always happens from the top-down manner. Good. Let us proceed to the next level. The next level is technical architecture. Okay. Again, okay. Someone is asking, is there any other thing to draw these diagrams? Yes, there are a lot of tools. I think we have got something called Visio. If you go to openmentor.net portal, and we have conducted many programs on Visio also. Visio is also one of the drawing tools. So you can see that. So Visio is also one of the tools. There are a lot of flowcharting tools available in the market, both in open source as well as paid varieties. Okay. The next thing is technical architecture. Technical architecture is again going to be part of the design, because the very first step is how we can break the bigger system into, okay. Is the sound clear to all the people? Can you please raise the hands if so? Okay, good. Good. So probably if you have a better bandwidth, it will be really good. But people, if you have slightly less bandwidth, it may not be that clear. Okay.